Hi, Summer. This is Mike from Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and this is your Singer 404. And you have chosen a really good machine. This is one of Singer's best. This whole line of 400 and 500 series slant-o-matic sewing machines, uh, just top of the line. It's got all gear drive, full rotary hook, strong and fast. And anyway, this is the last test before we pack her up to ship her out to you. And in this test, we're going to go over basic operation of the machine. You may already be really familiar with it, but just in case you're not, this final test will also be your tutorial. And so we're going to go over how to wind the bobbin, how to thread the machine, how to work the various controls, and just make sure you're up to speed and ready to sew when your sewing machine gets to you. So without further ado, let's wind a bobbin. Your bobbin is below the slide plate here. Just drops in, and you can lift it out. This one's quite a bit of thread on it, so I think I'll just leave that one on there in case you're sewing something that nice color of yellow. This one has some old thread on it. It looks vintage. The bobbins that this machine uses are the slightly domed bobbins. They're slightly domed on the top and the bottom. This is the bobbin winder here. Let's see what color. Let's use black. This is the spool pin for your bobbin winder. So you put your spool on the spool pin, go under the disc of this bobbin tension device and up to your bobbin, and put the thread through the little hole in the side of the bobbin from the inside towards the out, and give it a few wraps just to hold it in place while you wind the bobbin. And then with the thread going on over the top this way, push it onto the bobbin winder. Then push the bobbin winder all the way up until the rubber tire makes contact with the hand wheel. Declutch your machine by turning the chrome knob in the center of the hand wheel towards you, a quarter turn or so. You'll feel it hit its stop. And now the hand wheel is disengaged from the rest of the machine, so you can wind the bobbin without making the machine cycle. If you choose, you can also wind the bobbin while you're sewing. Just don't declutch the machine, and you can keep sewing and your bobbin will wind. And as it fills, there's a little stop in the back that's going to, as the bobbin fills, it's going to push the bobbin winder further and further away from the machine until when the bobbin's full, the bobbin winder will stop winding. And you'll have to excuse me, it's springtime and my allergies are loving it. So let's wind the bobbin. Give it a little gas, no reason to go fast. You could, but there's no reason to. Just more likely to handle something up. Looks like this bobbin winder could go over a hair. I mean the tension device. It's also the guide that shows the, well, it doesn't show anything, but it makes the thread go where it's supposed to on the bobbin. Yeah, that's better. That's plenty for our test. So, put your bobbin winder back down. It tucks right into its little cutout there. Now with the thread coming off the top of the bobbin in this direction, drop the bobbin into the bobbin race, and there's a little slot right here in the side of your bobbin race that you want to guide your thread into. Oh, actually it's right here, right near the front. So guide your thread under the edge of the slot and all the way over to the left until it clicks into place. Then when you pull up on your thread, you'll see the bobbin turn counterclockwise a little bit. You know you got it right. There's a little notch in the slide plate. Notch is actually for getting to your bobbin tension if you want to change your bobbin tension for any reason. But it's also a good place to put your thread, the end of your thread, so it's free when you are ready to pull it up. I'll show you what I mean about that in a sec. To thread the machine, put your bobbin on the spool pin on top, go into the thread guide on the top, go down and between the discs of the tension assembly, and you have a couple of choices of slots, like 3 choices, because you can use a double needle in here for decorative top stitching and other stuff that seamstresses would know about, but I don't. Go all the way around, go into the slot, go all the way around until you catch this little thin check spring on the left. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. Catch a check spring and keep going up until your thread goes into the little notch here near the top of the tension assembly. And now into the big thread guide above it and through the take-up lever, the thing that goes up and down while you're sewing, from the right to the left. There's another thread guide on the side over here to the left of the tension assembly. There's a thread guide right here. There's a thread guide right here. Lots of thread guides here. So great thread control. And I'm going to tighten that clutch knob now just so I can pull the thread without it unspooling there. So you go down from the take-up lever through this thread guide, this thread guide, this thread guide, above the needle clamp, and the last thread guide is a slot right at the bottom of your needle clamp. Lots of thread control. Then you're going to go through the eye of the needle from the front towards the back. And of course, it's always good to cut a fresh end on your thread, because those frayed ends kind of spread out and it makes it hard to poke through that little hole. If you have any trouble, okay, I'm going to take a cough drop. If you have any trouble seeing the eye of the needle, if you put a piece of white paper behind the needle, the eye of the needle suddenly pops out. It's easy to see. I mean, it doesn't really pop out, but it becomes very visible. Make sure you're still in your thread guides. Okay, not really polite to eat during a demonstration, but I do need a cough drop. Okay, so we're threaded through the needle. Now hold your needle thread loosely. Turn the hand wheel towards you, one full revolution, and the needle's going to take the thread down where the hook will pick it up and wrap it around the bobbin and bring up your lower thread. And there it is. There's the lower thread. Put the thread between the toes of the presser foot towards the back of the machine, and you're ready to sew. Let's see. This is your stitch length adjustment, and up here you'll see the designation fine. The top of that little area that's marked fine is the center point where your fabric's not moving forward or backwards, it's just staying in one spot. And if you keep sewing there, it's going to make a big wad of thread under your slide plate, so don't do that. If you have a satin stitch foot, actually never mind, on this machine it's not going to matter. This is a straight stitch machine, so so you're not going to build up that hump of thread that a satin stitch makes. Anyway, so from the fine area going down, your stitches are getting longer and longer and longer until at the bottom are your very longest stitches. From the fine area going up, your stitches get longer and longer, but in reverse. I'm going to set it to about 12 stitches per inch, which is a good medium stitch for average fabric and thread. If you want your stitches to be the same length in forward and reverse, if you're doing something that takes a lot of forwarding and reversing, you can tighten down this knob until the little guide contacts the surface, and now your stitches would be the same length in reverse as in forward. I'm just going to leave that wide open so you have a full range of stitch lengths. So I'm going to set it at about 12, and your upper tension here, 3 is your ballpark for regular threaded fabric. If you're sewing something heavy, you may need a little more tension. Something super light, you might want a little less tension. So you just adjust it up and down in tiny increments until your thread is pretty even on the top and bottom. You don't want it loose and loopy on the bottom. You want the threads to be pulled up into the fabric. The top stitch and bottom stitch should meet in the middle and pull right up into the fabric. Not puckery, but just snug up in there. This is your throat plate position. Excuse me. This does not have a dropping feed. Instead, the throat plate raises up just a smidge, so it's above the teeth of the feed dogs. And now you can move the fabric around at will without the feed dogs touching the fabric. When you want to clean your the hook area, when you're going to oil your machine, you want to brush out around the feed dogs and in that area. You want to be able to take your throat plate off for that. Go all the way to the left to the unlocked position, and You may need to turn the hand wheel a little bit so your feed dogs drop out of the way. Then you just slide your slide plate off, and then you can get in there and brush and vacuum. We're, of course, going to put it in the down position because we're not doing any machine embroidery. What else? This knob on top here is the pressure on your sewing foot. For some fabrics, you may need a little more pressure, or you may want a little less pressure if it's something delicate. I believe that's all the controls on this machine. Your the lever to raise and lower your foot control is in the back here. When you raise your sewing foot, it releases all the tension on the thread, so you can pull your project out without bending your needle. So, 12 stitches per inch, throw plates down, 3 on the tension, and here we go. Such a good machine. You could not have done better. I mean, unless you wanted a whole bunch of fancy stitches, and then you can get a 401, which also has like 96 different possible combinations of stitches. Although there's only a few of those that you would really want to use. Or the 403, is it? 40, must be the 403. The same machine as this one, except that it's also zigzag. But this is just superlative. It's a great machine. Go for a shorter stitch length. And you don't have to go fast. I mean, you can take it slow and careful and make those tight corners. Or you can go fast. That's about it. Oil your machine every, so sorry. Oil your machine every 8 hours or so of sewing. There are oil holes that you can put a drop of oil in. You can also open the face plate, which conveniently has a threading guide printed on it. And there you'll want to oil your needle bar and the various linkages. Anywhere where parts move against each other and there's going to be friction, you want a drop of oil there. And then with this one little thumb screw, you can take out the bottom plate and you'll see more places that you can oil in there. Again, just look for any place where parts move against each other, and that's where you want a drop of oil. So we'll get her packed up and ready to ship out to you. And thank you once again. And again, I apologize for snuffling and coughing, but life goes on. All right, good day.